Sister blackmailed me to cover her IT blunder, so I ruined her career at my wedding instead. Now she wants to make amends, so I never have as close of a relationship with my sisters as some of my other friends have with their siblings. Maybe it's because we have a 6-year age gap, but either way I didn't hate her until she pulled something like this. So my sister graduated about a year ago and instantly landed a job working for an IT security company. Because she's still considered a rookie, she has to be very careful with her work. Now a month ago, when I was in the middle of preparing for my wedding, she came over to my house unannounced. I was surprised to see her there because she lives about 2 hours away from me and it was a weekday, so she should be at her office. I asked her what she was doing here so suddenly and why didn't she call me beforehand. She walked past me and told me it couldn't wait and she needed to talk to me. That was rude, but I let it slide and asked her what's up with her and why she looks so tense. She said that she has a deal for me and I should pay attention to what she's saying as it'll be a good thing for me. Her attitude, her body language and her voice were all suspicious. And I'm in general a very cautious woman because when you've worked as a lawyer for 8 years your instincts become very sharp. I knew something wasn't right and decided on the spot to record whatever she was saying. I turned on the recording on my phone under the guise of turning it to silent and told her to continue with what she wanted to say. She told me that she knows about the big secret of my fiancé. I asked her what she was talking about and she said she knew about how he was accused of abusing a student of his back in the day, and even though he was found to be not guilty and all the charges against him were dropped, something like this could ruin a man's life. I instantly went into alert mode. I remember the case vividly because I met him the first time when my senior was handling his case. The student that accused him has actually asked him to change her grade because his subject was the only thing holding her back from graduating with top grades, and when he refused to budge she accused him of abuse and told him that she'll take all the charges back if he changes her grade. Thankfully the second conversation they had was caught on camera because he had the presence of mind to be cautious, and that's how my senior got his all cleared. It was years ago and now I'm marrying this guy. But how does my sister find out about it? More importantly, what was her intention? So I asked her what she wanted and she said that she's planning to reveal everything on my wedding day in front of all my guests and ruin my wedding unless I help her out with something. She said that she needs me to come with her to her office and tell her supervisor that I used her laptop and accidentally opened a link I wasn't supposed to touch. It didn't take a lot to figure out what she's talking about. She must have been in trouble because of phishing and is asking me to cover for her. So I asked her what exactly happened and she said I don't have to worry about it and just do as she says if I want to save my future husband's reputation. So I asked her if I should consider this blackmail and she said I could call it whatever I want. So I told her she could go ahead and do whatever she wants at my wedding and I don't care one bit about it. She didn't expect me to say no because she looked genuinely surprised, but instead of crying about it she left the house in anger. In the month that followed I used my firm's resources to find out what exactly had happened with my sister and I stand corrected. Her company is actually facing a lawsuit right now from the state because of the data leak that was caused by my sister's mistake. There is also an ongoing investigation to find out who is responsible for it so they can take proper action against them. Now I knew her secret and I was fully prepared to pay her back for blackmailing me. I scheduled a meeting with her company and pitched my firm as their lawyers on their current lawsuit. They were very hesitant about letting us do it, but I told them how I have semi-proof about who is responsible for the whole incident, and if their company lets us handle it we can get them out of this mess with way less damages than they are to pay at their current rate. Finally the management said yes, and I also invited my sister's superior to my wedding to watch the show that was going to go down at my wedding. Finally yesterday my wedding day came and my sister did what she promised me. She looked haggard and almost like an addict, which clearly shows how stressed she must have been lately, but I think she deserves it. When it was time for people to give the toast she took the mic and did what she promised me she'd do. She told everyone in a sweet way how despite my husband being an abuser she's happy that he makes me happy. But instead of being shocked like the rest of them I just laughed and went up to the stage where she was continuing with her story. I took the mic from her and told everyone to buckle up because truth is about to hit them hard. Then I played the recording from the day she blackmailed me in front of everyone. Not only that, I also revealed to the supervisor, who was still under scrutiny because the person responsible for the whole mess was still not publicly revealed, that my sister is the one who let her system get hacked and ended up causing them $1 million lawsuit. He was furious and told her on the spot that there's no need for her to go back to work the next day and that someone from the company will contact her about what they're going to do with her. Her expression was the best thing to see on my wedding day and I quite enjoyed myself. I don't think I could have planned a better adventure even if I wanted to, and she definitely made my wedding something people will talk about a lot. She really tried to shame my husband and defame him in all our family, so in my opinion she fully deserves being jobless. I hope this stains her career forever and it would be hard for her to get back up again. Does wishing for her doom make me an a-hole here? Isn't this something she should have seen coming from afar? Update 1. remember the case my firm took of the IT company my sister was working on. The data breach was of a significant level because the company provided security for a bunch of small businesses and a lot of people's account information was leaked to the public. There was almost no way for the company to escape the damages that were to be paid, and the case came down to how much they ended up paying for their mistake. It was pretty clear by now that my sister was the one that fell for phishing, and the company told her to confess to what she did if she wanted to keep her involvement a secret. She had no choice but to comply because if the word got out, her career was pretty much destroyed. With the main culprit behind the leak being caught, we were able to argue a case for a lesser amount of fine, and in the end the company had to pay $500,000 in damages to every business they were providing security for. At least this helped them not to go bankrupt, and they had a chance to rebuild from the bottom. Update 2. It's been 3 months since my wedding, and I wasn't expecting my sister to visit me ever again after how I popped the lid on her crimes. I thought we were finally done for and I moved in with my life, but she suddenly showed up at my house last night. She must have drunk a little because she looked a little tipsy. I asked her what she wanted and she said she needs me to apologize to her. I said for what reason, because everything I did was what she deserved. If she didn't want to face the consequences, then she should have been better at her job and definitely shouldn't have tried to blackmail me, a person who preaches law for a living. But all she said was that her prank was harmless and she wasn't responsible if someone decided to send her the mail she checked. She said she was a rookie and it was the first time she faced a phishing hacker in her life. How did anyone expect her to be good at something she has never done before? Then she said if it wasn't for me she could have gotten away with it and remembered it as a learning experience, but I'm a witch that needed to ruin her life. She continued to curse me and blame me for everything, and when I was done listening to her bullshit I told her to leave before I called the cops. Maybe she had come to not underestimate me because she left at my first warning. I'm still trying to process the whole 10 minutes from last night because I can't believe she is still seething in anger instead of making the most of what she has. Update 3. It's been more than a year and I wasn't expecting that I'll have to write another update, but things happen that you can't foresee. So my sister asked me for lunch a week ago and we met. I thought she was again going to tell me how I ruined her life, but she didn't bring up the topic even once. Instead, she only apologized for how things have been between us and she acknowledged her mistakes. I asked her what caused this change and she said it was our parents' sudden passing. I was surprised to hear that because my parents passed away during COVID and we didn't even get to have a funeral for them. Since my sister and I weren't on talking terms, none of us called each other and I ended up mourning for them on my own. My sister said that now that I'm the only family she has left in this world, she realized how stupid it was what she did and she wanted to apologize and start things from scratch if possible. As I've already moved on from that incident and because what she did didn't affect my husband that much, I didn't mind giving her a second chance. I told her I'd like to begin again too. So we caught up with each other's life a little and then I came back home. It's been a week and that's how long it took me to realize we're actually doing it and that I'm glad to have her back in my life. I, 20 male, usually take my cousins, 15 and 16 female, to the gym with me once or twice a week since they expressed interest in going with me. By the way, my cousins aren't related by blood, it's because their parents are lifelong friends of mine. Before they came with me, I asked why they wanted to go and they both said they were impressed with my calisthenics, shameless humble brag. I've been going with them for about a month. I go to a more intermediate gym, where the main focus is lifting heavy weights. It's a bit smaller than your average gym and the people who go there are borderline Olympic medalists in athletic level. Everyone except me, of course. But recently my aunt, not the mother of my cousins, saw a post my cousin posted of us at the gym. She took the time out of her busy day of lounging on the couch watching The Young and Restless to drive 20 minutes to my house to chew out my mother for me giving my young cousins body positive issues. Her argument is, girls that young being around other super skinny and fit women is detrimental to their mental health. And I'm leading them into a lifetime of eating disorders and I'm a monster for doing this. My mom was on my side, but over time she began leaning towards my aunt's point. My aunt, ever the drama queen, decided to call my cousin's parents over and raise her concerns. I had to stand before all of them and explain the workouts we did. I always made sure to watch them when they lifted weights and coached them on proper technique. If I'm honest, those were some of the best times of this year. I never let them do too much and the other people at the gym absolutely loved having the girls around to give pointers and to just talk too. My aunt then said it was weird that I, a grown man, willingly spent time with underage woman unsupervised. I was utterly shocked at the insinuation, as were my mom and the parents. My aunt backtracked quickly saying it was just odd I didn't go with people my age. Which doesn't make sense because she knows I go daily with my 2 high school buddies. Everything's settled down now, but the parents said maybe I shouldn't take them to the gym with me anymore and that makes me really sad. I asked a friend, And he said I'm the a-hole because I was overstepping my boundaries, especially since I'm not related to them by blood. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? Some background: I have 3 siblings. My brother, Ross, and I share both our parents, while I only share a mom with my older sister, Elizabeth, and eldest brother, Heinrich. They also have another brother from their father's side, Daryl. I, 28, female, started working as an educator in 2020. While it's not the most glamorous job, I make good money, and being a teacher is seen as a good job where I am from. I grew up in a single-parent household, and while my mother was amazing and did everything she could so we could have better lives than she did, we still had to get bursaries and job while studying. None of us was ever given anything. We had to work for what we wanted, while my mom made sure we had all the necessities. My sister and I used to go visit her father a lot, as I have a great relationship with him. As such, when I had saved up enough to buy a nice second-hand car, I asked him to check the car out for me so I don't get scammed or something. I ended up buying a nice 2018 model Hyundai Santa Fe. A few months later, Daryl turned 18 and his parents decided to buy him a car. He chose the newest model Hyundai Santa Fe. I of course was happy for him, as were our siblings. Well, not even a month later he started talking about what a crappy car I had, how his car is so much better. Asking why couldn't I buy a better car, is it cause I am too poor, etc. After a while I had enough. I politely asked him to stop, as I am very happy with my car, as it is reliable and does the exact same thing as done, take me from point A to B. He then stated, yes, but mine has better specs, it's so much different from yours, etc. At this point I was fed up, so I replied, you want to know the biggest difference between our cars? Mine wasn't sponsored by mommy and daddy. I work hard for every single thing I own, unlike you. Here's where I might be the a-hole. I said this in front of all his friends, and they ridiculed him for it afterwards. Until this day they still do whenever he brags about anything, because his mother still buys everything for him. He has been demanding that I apologize for my outburst in front of his friends since I was embarrassed for all these years. I have refused, as I don't see anything wrong with what I said. But our sister, who never really got along with him, says I should fake an apology to keep the peace, but I refuse. Am I the a-hole?